What up, everybody? JP here, and this is going to be the review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This film was directed by Tobe Hooper from the year 1986. It has a tagline of after a decade of silence, the buzz is back. This film was actually made, 12 years after the original, which is a long time. You normally see a sequel. If the film's successful, you usually see a sequel within the first few years. 10 years, 12 years. That's a long time. Um, so yeah, let's get into the story a bit. The film picks up, 10 years or a decade or so after the events of the first film. You have Dennis Hopper, who plays the character Lefty Enright. Um, he's kind of a lieutenant or something. He's basically been tracking the Sawyer family, who is Leatherface and the cook and Chop Top. He's been tracking them all over Texas, trying to track them down because his niece and nephew was Franklin and Sally from the first film. So he's making it his goal to finally put an end to the Sawyer family's madness or whatever. Then you have a DJ at a radio station played by Carolyn Williams, who was in Leprechaun 3. I think she was in a Stepfather film, and she's going to be in Hatchet 3 coming up. She plays the character of Stretch. She has another person working with her named LG. She works, like the graveyard radio station times, and these little punk guys like call in and are giving her a hard time and stuff. Later that night they call back, and right at that time Leatherface and Chop Top pull up, and basically it's a high speed chase with chainsaws, and they basically Leatherface ends up killing these two guys. So Stretch thinks that she can she recorded it, all the sounds and people dying and stuff. She hooks up with Dennis Hopper's character, and they decide that they're going to try to you know play the tape, see what happens, play the tape on the air, and that's basically the story. Eventually they get wrapped up in the Sawyer family. Um, it gets crazy. They end up going into an where the Sawyers live, this huge underground crazy tunnel system, insane thing. This film is really, it's the first film is super serious. The first film is uh, a straight up, like it's not funny or anything. It's a real horror film. This one kind of goes in a different direction. Instead of, I think what Tobe Hooper, I think I heard him say this, and what I'd imagine he would feel is, it was like 10 years later after the first film. They wanted to make a sequel. The studios wanted to make a sequel. He didn't really think that he could do the same kind of film again. So he decided to have fun with it and turn it into kind of a dark comedy or a black comedy. Because this film is kind of a horror comedy, but in my opinion, it's the best kind of horror comedies. The ones that aren't so goofy and in-your-face comedy. It's real like dark humor that it doesn't really feel like a comedy at times, but it is. There's a lot of funny stuff in here, but it's not like joke type stuff. It's good. It's good humor in here. The film is a film that I grew up watching, and it's kind of hard to really talk about it in like a review way because I actually love this film so much, and it's so hard to really explain why. I've tried to explain why I like this film so many times, and I always get stuck. I think it's a lot to do with the characters, and just the um, you know dark humor, how it's done so subtle, but it's really and it's just crazy. The film is so uniquely crazy and bizarre and just totally ridiculous. Like the whole underground thing and just all the hundreds of skulls and skeletons like lined in this underground place. You know, um, and the beginning when they're chasing a car with a chainsaw, two cars going side by side, and Leatherface got a chainsaw chopping at the other car. Like it's just crazy, but it's fun. That's one of the biggest things. This movie is really fun to me. Um, the characters are probably the best part. You still have um, Drayton Sawyer, who is the cook from the first film. He's the only character I believe to return. He plays, the cook or Drayton Sawyer. He's awesome in this one too. He just the dialogue that goes on between the characters. You have to watch this thing with subtitles because some of it's kind of hard to hear. But it's so funny, and it's just the way they go back and forth at each other is just really interesting to watch. And I think that's a big part of why I like this movie. The characters are super, um, you know, awesome. They're really funny and really fun to watch. And I almost like Chop Top. Chop Top's one of my favorite horror characters of all time, and he isn't even the like star of the movie. He's played by Bill Moseley. It's a lot of people think that Chop Top is actually the hitchhiker from the first film, but that's not true. The hitchhiker is actually the dead body that they're carrying around. Throughout the film. Because the Sawyer family likes to keep their dead relatives around, and yeah. But Chop Top it was actually in like a military hospital after the Vietnam War or something during the first film. That's why he has that metal plate in his head. He goes on to talk about that. If you listen to some of his dialogue, he always talks about Vietnam and stuff. So yeah, they're actually two different characters, but Chop Top is one of the best horror characters in my opinion. And I almost wish he would have got his own like spin-off series. He could have easily carried his own franchise. Such a cool character. And he's really entertaining, and he's really one of the main parts of this film that I really like, along with the cook character is really entertaining too, and Leatherface is got a lot of personality in this one. There's some awkward scenes with Leatherface in this film. It had to be really awkward to film some of those scenes. Then you have the old grandpa character again, which in my opinion looks even better this time. You got, speaking of effects, Tom Savini kills it in the effects. Some really great stuff. Really gory, bloody, all kind of good practical effects and stuff that look amazing and still hold up to me today. For me at least, I think a lot of other people would agree. Yeah, but I mean, I don't really know how to review this film, so I'm just gonna end it here. I would rate this film a 4 out of 5. It's not as serious and as the first one, but in its own way, it's really a kind of really well crafted film in its own way. So check out Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.